Hi everyone, this right here is a $20 cordless pressure washer that I got on Amazon. Opening up the box, there's a flexible suction hose, as well as a plastic bag with some connectors. There are two heads included. The first one is this multi-pattern nozzle, which actually feels quite solid. There's also this pretty cheap and flimsy foam dispenser, and here's the pressure washer itself. It feels surprisingly solid for the price. There's no branding whatsoever, it's very generic looking, but it does have some good weight to it. It doesn't look like there's any kind of battery or power indicator on the tool itself. There's just that one orange button which you press to turn on the pressure washer. Now let's take a look at that battery. It says 96 VF, however it's not actually 96 volts. Instead 96 VF is the model number. The description says it's 4 amp hours, however there's no capacity markings on the battery itself. And there's also this charger. The charger feels really cheap, but it does have an LED indicator on it, though I don't like how short that power cord is. However, for $20 you cannot really complain. The hose needs to be assembled before use, which is quite straightforward. However, you do have to use a lot of force to get the hose onto the barb. The quick connect end has this nice retaining nut to keep everything together. The filter, on the other hand, just pushes on. Instead of a garden hose, this pressure washer draws water from a bucket, which is useful if you're washing your car away from a faucet. The water pressure is higher than a garden hose, but the flow rate is lower, which makes it perfect for pre-rinsing your car before using any car wash soap. I also find that there's enough power for pre-rinsing wheels. Wheels in particular tend to get very dirty because they accumulate brake dust and road grime. This pressure washer has enough power while still being safe and easy to use on your car. This deck is about 5 years old and I'm cleaning it before reapplying the wood finish. While this pressure washer has enough power to remove bird droppings and dirt, it cannot do anything about the staining in the wood because that requires chemicals such as oxalic acid to remove. However, it does eliminate the need to manually scrub the railings with a brush, so I would say it's pretty useful for that. Now let's try cleaning this neglected stainless steel grill. It's been left under a tree for about 3 years and there's a lot of grime on it, and this pressure washer makes very easy work of it. Cleaning the metal grills themselves, however, is a bit trickier. This pressure washer does seem to struggle with removing the burnt food buildup from the grills. However, with some patience, it does get them reasonably clean. You'll probably want to finish with a pumice stone or wire brush though, before using the grill. Obviously, this is not going to come close to the performance of a corded electric or gas pressure washer. However, for light-duty household cleaning, it works great, and for $20, I honestly cannot complain one bit. My main complaint about this tool, however, is there's no battery level indicator. When it's out of battery, the tool will just shut off. There's no low battery light, no indicator of any kind. However, like I said, you can't really complain for $20. Looking inside the battery pack, you'll see that there are 15 lithium-ion cells and this battery management circuit board. This has a charging circuit as well as an over-discharge prevention circuit, which shuts off the battery when the voltage is too low. Everything feels very cheap, so I don't expect this to last very long. The pressure washer itself, however, has much higher build quality compared to the battery pack. Inside, there's this DC 775 motor, as well as a gearbox and the pressure washer pump itself. The pump is plastic, however, it does feel quite sturdy. All electronics are in the battery pack, so the tool itself is quite simple. For $20, this pressure washer is an amazing deal. However, because it's pretty cheaply made, I don't expect this pressure washer to be very durable. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and I'll see you all next time.